Once more, I can't sleep. Maybe it's because of my encounter with Belle earlier. Maybe it's because she kissed me. I managed to hide my ravaged neck from Sally throughout the day, but the proof of Belle's merciless assault was made more than apparent when I examined my neck in the confines of the bathroom. Belle wasn't joking when she said she was possessive. If her kisses had been any harder, she would have gouged chunks out of my flesh. I wouldn't have bruises to worry about, but gaping holes. Man, that would be fucking weird. And hard to explain, kinda, right? The kisses combined with my own circular cycling thoughts made it impossible to sleep. I can't stop thinking about her. Man, you're in love with a cat girl. I mean, who can blame you? Jeez, fuck me. Now I have to censor this fucking episode. Oh god, game. The worst part is going through all of this since I'm essentially recording it all in one big batch. Whatever. Hell have no fury, she told me, a small smile on her face. Sally said much the same thing. I think Sally meant it in playful jest, but I can't be too sure about Belle. Knowing her, she could have been serious. Belle did say some cultures refer to her kind as demons. Maybe she really is. Man, wouldn't you love fucking a demon? I mean, jeez. Not everyone can say that, can they? Well, she was right about one thing. This has gone on for long enough. I need to find out what she wants, not just for my sake, but for Sally and Melly too. I love them too much to let this continue. This is sudden. You know, it doesn't strike me as really lovingly how you treat them or your relationship, but okay. That's why I find myself walking to the bridge where Belle and I first met. It's a dark night, and it's cold too, though thankfully it isn't raining like last time. Maybe the dark storm clouds up above already expanded themselves over Whitby, slicking the cobblestone roads so unsuspecting pedestrians would fall and tumble to the ground like dominoes. That shopping trolley is still lying in the middle of the river, undisturbed, like the carcass of a hippo. It looks strangely majestic under the light of the moon. A monument, a landmark, a pagan place of worship. You're a real poet, you know that? I shiver, my fingers wrapped tightly around the wrought iron railings of the bridge. I don't know if I'm shivering from the adrenaline, the cold, or my own anxiety. Maybe it's all three. We humans are complicated creatures. The bruises dotted across my neck still hurt. I keep prodding at them even though I know I shouldn't. I can't help it. Wait, she really hurt you by sucking on you? This shouldn't be possible. I mean, a hickey is fine, but wow. Maybe we humans aren't that complicated after all. There she fucking is. Ah, hello there, stranger. The moon is beautiful tonight, isn't it? Belle. She's walking towards me, her dark hair fluttering in the breeze. She isn't wearing the black coat she donned earlier today, and neither is she in her ridiculous school uniform. Instead, she's wearing the little black dress she wore during our first meeting. I don't know why. Maybe it's symbolic. I bet my ass he's going crazy or something. He's imagining things and ruining his relationship just because he is going mad. The black dress makes her skin look whiter than ever. Her slender arms are still at her sides like bundles of sticks or bleached bones. She must have approached me silently, so silently, while I was still lost in thought, busy prodding at those bruises she left behind. Her footsteps are silent even now, like those of a cat's. She doesn't make any noise, not even as the wind plays through her hair and tugs at her skirt. This has to be one of my favorite sprites of this game. I just like it, I don't know why. I'm so happy, Robin. She comes to a halt, standing before me. I can hear the beating of her heart even though we are not touching, separated by just a hair's breadth. I can't debate the finer points of Belle's existence now. I have too much proof. Before today, perhaps I could have convinced myself Belle was nothing more than an illusion, a delusion. But now I know. Nope, I still don't know. I haven't kissed her, you know. The bruises on my neck, Belle's lips against my skin, the beating of her heart, make any such protestation sound silly. She really is real, and this is not a dream. Even if I pinch my arm, I'm not going to wake up. I've fallen too far for that. I'm so happy that you came back to me. For some reason, I knew you'd been waiting. I'm glad I had faith in you. She blinks up at me from underneath her long, sooty eyelashes, a smile on her face. Well, I can be very persuasive. She reaches forwards, the tips of her white fingers brushing against one of the ugly bruises on my neck. I flinch back, shivering. I thought she would touch me somewhere else, but okay, that's fine. Her hands are cold like ice, and her touch chills me. Fuck, what's wrong with her? You know, Belle, I was wondering something about that umbrella you had today. But Belle places one finger against my lips, silencing me. Her touch is so icy, it draws my breath out of my lungs. Oh yeah, another theory I have is that this is actually his daughter, and he hasn't seen her in so long that she went crazy, and she's pretending to be someone else, just to get in her daddy's pants or something, I don't know. I thought about that yesterday and it made sense, you know, with the whole umbrella and the code thing. He said the code was somehow familiar to him. I bet it was his daughter's code. You know, she disappeared in Whitby and suddenly Belle turns up? No. Just no. Her touch is so icy it draws my breath out of my lungs. Let's go. I want to take you somewhere. Also, we haven't seen his daughter's face yet, and she has long black hair, whereas Belle has short black hair, you know, extensions, baby. Where? I'm stuttering, I can't help it. I can't say anything to her. I can't fight against her. She was right, I already belonged to her. Captivated, mesmerized. All it took was one glance from her bright green eyes, and I was under her spell. She might have taken the form of a black cat, but she's no familiar. She would make a more than adequate witch. Oh, don't look so worried. I'm not going to do anything bad. No? I hate myself for feeling this way, but I'm almost disappointed. Almost. What the hell has this girl done to me? No, it's not anything that you don't want. Oh, Belle. But she doesn't listen to my feeble protests. I don't blame her. It's not like I've made a very intelligent case for myself during these past 5 minutes or so. She takes hold of my hand, her fingers entwined with mine, and turns to leave. I follow her for want of knowing what else to do, her willing captive. I'm sorry I fumble sometimes while reading, but some of these sentences, as I said before several times, they are really weird and really complicated for me. She leads me across the bridge, and I walk behind her, our footsteps merging into one single noise. She could go anywhere, and in my current state, I would follow her, right to the bottom of the lake, or to the very ends of the earth. I'm enthralled, much like the rats that follow the Pied Piper of Hamelin to their untimely deaths. And we're here. I blink, looking around. I was so lost in my own thoughts, slow and syrupy, that I completely forgot to pay attention to my surroundings. It's the park. I went here with Belle before, when she ate that stupid ice cream, her eyes half lidded and her lips pursed. The playground equipment looks eerie under the moonlight, the paint flaking. The rusted old swings creak back and forth by the wind. There are no other people. We're the only ones here. Of course we are. It's 1 a.m. What kind of parent would let their children go out at such an hour? I know I'm not the best father, but I would never permit Melly to do something like this. You wouldn't even notice, you fucktard. Melly. I wonder why he is thinking of her now. Jeez. I wonder how she is. Is she tucked up in her bed, fast asleep? No, she stands before you, I'm sure. Maybe not. Joanne Fowler said she was something of an insomniac. That's why she seems to muddle through life, her head hanging, dark bags underneath her eyes. It's Belle. I swear to God, it has to be. I would look like a right idiot when it wasn't, but I bet it's Belle. I mean, we don't know anything about the daughter. We haven't seen her. We haven't really talked to her. She hasn't talked to us. She's apparently really weird. She goes to a psychiatrist already. I bet she's mad because of her father not loving her or something. She gets this crazy idea that he would love her if she sucked on an ice cream or something. Man, it hurts knowing your one and only child might be suffering and being unable to do anything about it, incapable of helping. Also, Belle is fucking reminding me of my own shortcomings all the fucking time when it comes to Belle and Sally, you know? It has to be her. Maybe that's why I started avoiding her. Maybe that's why I stopped talking to her, looking into her eyes filled with a vague misery I could not understand, hurt. It made me feel like a failure. I wanted to help her, but I didn't know what to do. In the end, I made it even worse. I really am a bad person. If I wasn't, would I be allowing Belle to drag me around the park past midnight? This is no fairy story. This isn't romantic. I'm just an unfaithful husband, a distant father who's trying to abandon all responsibility. It must have been easy for Belle to dig her claws into me. Jeez. I walked into her embrace with open arms. Yeah, you kinda did. But then again, she's a fucking cat girl, so maybe I would have done the same. Robin, I really do love you. Especially when she says it like that, you know. Oh my god, I mean, she's talking to me, clearly. I mean, I'm Robin. But why? Because you're letting me. Because from the moment we met, you decided to open your heart to me. I can't deny it, it's true. I made this game of cat and mouse rather easy, didn't I? I didn't put up even the slightest bit of resistance. Belle's hands grip mine tight. She looks up at me with those large emerald green eyes, a small smile tugging at the corners of her lips. I already told you, Robin. You're all mine. I'm not going to let you get away now. Uh-oh. And with that, she gets on the tips of her toes. She might be a demon, but she's still too short to reach my lips unaided, and presses her mouth against mine. The kiss is hard, forceful, and demanding. I gasp in surprise. Belle uses this to her advantage. She slips her tongue in my mouth and wraps her arms around me, holding my body against hers. For such a short girl, she really is strong. I don't know where she stores it all, honestly, especially when her arms are so skinny. I break away from the kiss, breathing heavily. I can hear my heart hammering in my chest. Blood rushes to my cheeks. It's a cold night, but I can feel myself blushing. A strand of saliva connects our open lips, shimmering under the moonlight. It looks indecent. I turn my head, severing it with this slight gesture. I never got a fascination with saliva and strings and strands of saliva connecting anything to anything else, you know? It doesn't do it for me, really. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't let myself get carried away. That's what she wants. I'm sure of it, but I don't understand. What do you want from me? I already told you. Weren't you listening? I want everything. But why? Isn't it obvious? It is because you love me, right? That's right. I love you more than anybody ever has done, Robin, and anybody ever will. But I still don't understand. Well, you're pretty stupid, Robin, so it's not that bad if you can't understand. I can vaguely wrap my head around why Arabella Wade might be interested in me. As Sally has chided me in the past, I really am too nice to her, especially considering my deep lack of feelings towards her. Though I try to avoid talking with her when I can, she's engaged me in discussions about her drawn-out divorce more times than I can count. The fact that I've complimented her on her appearance a few times in the past, I can't help it, she's a very pretty woman, and let her cry into my chest at Costa last weekend probably didn't help. But I don't understand why Belle likes me so much. It's true that I tried to save her, but the fact remains that I didn't. I didn't do a damn thing, unless you want to count nearly drowning. I guess it could be pretty sexy, you know? Willingly dying for someone. I mean, it's like killing for somebody, right? It's not quite the same, but it's a very, very particular thing. I wonder if she likes that in a man, being pathetic and helpless. I'm certainly not offering much resistance against her onslaught right now. Maybe it's because, despite my protests, I don't want to. I don't know what I want. It's all so confusing. My head is starting to hurt. There are far too many things to keep track of. Too many things to feel guilty about. It would be easier to forget and just focus on sensations. The none too soft sucking against my swollen lower lip. But how can I? I don't know. Just give yourself to her, you know. Belle, I don't think you should be doing this. I can do what I want. But at the very least, I shouldn't be doing this. I mean, I'm married. But you don't love her. Belle, You don't love her like you love me. How could I possibly love you? I've only known you for a few days. Oh, don't fuck it up, Robin. Maybe, but that can all change. I want it to. Belle. Shh. I'm not a fan of all this talk. Humans all talk too much. Why do you have to try and rationalize every little thing? Just enjoy it? Oh, it's her. Fuck, sorry for the creepy, awkward Robin voice. It's her. Why do you have to try and rationalize every little thing? Just enjoy it. There, that's better, right? Another theory just popped up in my head. What if she's just an unrelated crazy stalker girl that somehow, I don't know, stalked me? I don't know for what reasons, but it could very well be, you know? Belle presses her lips against mine once more. I feel lightheaded. It's hard to breathe. I think I'm going to pass out. It's a cold night and Belle's touch is frigid, but her lips are so warm. I'm melting. Nice. Belle guides me to a secluded corner of the park, overcast by trees. The moonlight makes her skin shine milky white. Belle leans forward, pressing her lips against the hollow shell of my ear. Her breath glides across my skin. Her fingers are trailing down my chest towards my crotch. Insistent, needy. Uh-oh. I don't want this. I don't think I do, but... You think you do, but you don't. She squeezes hard. I gasp. You like this, right? You like me, don't you? I don't know what to say. What can I say? Even if I refute her, the way my body's reacting should make it obvious enough. Well, it's just a physical reaction, isn't it? You can't help it sometimes. Oh my god, I certainly have to censor that. Steam! I didn't know this was a thing, you know, but... okay. She's a lot tight. Oh my god. Fuck me. Can I even read this? Or is this too saucy for YouTube? Anyway, let's just try and see if YouTube picks up on this. She's a lot tighter than I thought she would be. I don't know why I expected otherwise, given her body is that of a teenage girl, but the way she talks easily makes one forget that. Claims of being Marie Antoinette and all. I wonder if Marie Antoinette ever gasped like this as she was penetrated, her head tipped back, eyes rolled into the back of her head. Then I pause, realizing that is actually quite a weird thing to think of during an intimate moment like this. I thought you said you'd done this before. Belle winces. Her eyes are squeezed shut. I see tears beading in the corners of her eyes. Maybe she's just happy. I have. Then why are you so tight? Fuck! Belle's inside squeeze around my erection, engulfing me in a sharp sensation. She's so tight it's almost painful. I have to stifle my moans with the back of my hand. What the hell am I doing? Sleeping with her is bad enough, but we are doing it outside. Like animals. This is a new level of depravity I never thought I'd sink to. Forget not paying for ice cream sundaes. This is the kind of shit that you can't really bounce back from. Maybe it would look a little better if I weren't a primary school teacher. There's this kind of image most people have of primary school teachers, music teachers especially, and I can't imagine having sex with young girls as one of them. Also, near a playground, right? Jeez. Belle moves in my lap just slightly and my whole body is instantly seized with a sharp shock. I twitch, shoulders trembling, and bite down on my hand. Oh, fuck. I didn't really want to sleep with Belle. I don't think I did it anyway. It wasn't high on my to-do list. She looks happy enough. I mean, jeez, look at her. She's really happy about this. I guess it was a nice thing to do. She was the one who instigated it, not me. She was the one that stroked my erection through my trousers, the one who disposed of her underwear, the one who lowered her shaking pale white body onto mine. But I can't deny it feels good. The moans I'm making, escaping unwillingly from my lips, are proof enough of that. Belle's body is warm, sticky with her own clear fluids, and that isn't the only thing. She's bleeding, so she hasn't done this before. Or she can regenerate her virginity as a spirit, I guess. Maybe this is possible. All is possible as a spirit, I guess. When she pushed my erection deep inside her body, I felt a resistance, then something tearing. Something that can't be fixed. Though she isn't bleeding that much, it's still startling. The milky white insides of her thighs are splashed with bright red crimson. She looks too happy for this to be a first time. I mean, it almost looks like something from a horror movie. The deflowered maiden. Oh god. You're virgin? Only this body? Guys like virgins, right? They like fucking pure girls, so they can take their innocence away, so they can own them. She's right about that, I guess. You really think that? Of course I think that. I know it. At least at this point we know she isn't a trap. Because her flat chest made me think that she may also be a trap, but she isn't, I guess. How? Don't ask me why I think of her being a trap, but okay. Don't ask me, just don't ask. I can tell by how hard you are inside me. Man, I'll have to put a warning in front of this episode for sure. Shit. I gasp. Belle exploits the situation. She dips her head, pressing her lips against mine in a heated kiss. Her tongue tangles with mine. The sensation of her kisses, mingled with the shifting of her live body on my lap, makes my head swim. I slide even deeper into her body when she shifts, until there isn't a single inch separating the two of us. I don't just feel close to her. It almost feels as though we're matching together, becoming one and the same. My erection is buried inside her body and her fingers are entwined with mine, our tongues coiled together. Belle draws away and brings her lips against my ear, whispering under her breath, "I'm your fucking daughter, you weirdo." It's okay, you don't need to hold back. But I was waiting for this moment. I was waiting for so long. I want you to enjoy yourself. But I don't want to hurt you. Don't you think it's a little bit too late for that? I turned my head away, my own face burning red. That really wasn't my fault. You were so insistent. Yeah, just push it onto her. You try going for 30 years without sleeping with anyone and see how insistent you get. That's a fair point, I guess. I already told you I don't mind, so just do it. Come inside me, fill me up. I want to become one with you. I've wanted this for so long. Belle, I love you. I love you so much. So I guess what I've read is true. As long as you don't really see the penetration, it's okay for Steam. But then again, why are so many Japanese VNs censored? I don't get it. Why do they cut out the sex scenes? Is Sweetest Monster an English release? It must be. It's made by a female author. That far I know, because Steam suggested me to buy the bundle of her, you know. But I don't know. I have to look into that. Belle looks at me, her emerald eyes large. For the first time, I notice a certain vulnerability to her tone. Her voice quavers, as does her tiny body perched on my lap. She's so light, even when she's pressing down against me like this, almost like a feather. Her collarbone just juts out alarmingly underneath her white skin. Her exposed breasts are so small and her arms and legs are so slender. It's almost like she's made of air. Is he sitting in the park masturbating and hallucinating she's fucking him? I want to take care of her. I want to protect her. I want to love her. I want to fulfill her wish, just so long as it will make her happy. She must have been so lonely these last 30 years, trapped inside her skull with nobody to talk to. I can't even fathom what kind of isolation must do to a person. But that kind of isolation, I guess. No wonder Belle's been so desperate, almost hungry for my affection. I don't know if I blame her. I suppose it's nice being needed like this, being wanted. I haven't felt wanted in such a long time. Belle, I understand. You do? She blinks at me, dispelling a few stray tears. They trickle down her cheeks, catching in the moonlight so they shimmer. Not entirely, but I gasp again as Belle grinds against my erection. She leans forward and catches my lips with her own, stifling my moans with her mouth. Whew. Is this scene over now? I just mean, I'm glad that you love me and I love you too. This is too much for me. I can't hold on anymore. She squeezes around me and I moan, burying my head against the crook of her neck. She wraps her arms around me, cradling me to her close, safe, as though, in her own way, she's trying to protect me. Perhaps that was what she wanted to do this whole time, but I was too suspicious of her motives to realize. She holds me against her chest as I come deep inside her, long and hard, again and again. I must have been holding that in for a long while. When was the last time I slept with Sally? I can't quite remember. I don't want to remember. I don't want to think about Sally right now. Okay, I have to censor another scene. Belle, I love you. I love you too, Robin. I love you. Can't hold on anymore. It's all too much. I can hardly think at all. I'm drowning in a wave of feeling. Belle's fingers are against my back, her body around mine. I hold her tightly. I can feel her trembling, as though she's falling apart in my arms. Still, she looks pretty happy. I won't let go of her. I told myself I wouldn't. I want to protect her. I think we all know what these white flashes are supposed to mean, right? Right? I run my fingers across her skin, the white spots that cloud my vision slowly fading, my orgasm receding. Her skin is so soft, so smooth, so white, like the inside of a conch shell. She really is beautiful, especially underneath the moonlight, even the parts of her body that are slightly less perfect. Even the scar that runs from the small of her back to the bottom of her spine. A scar? It's a long line of puckered skin that would be almost invisible to the naked eye, but I can feel it beneath the tips of my roving fingers. Watch him remember that his daughter has this. It's strange, actually, that she should have such a scar. It's nostalgic, it takes me back. Fuck it. I remember dimly, with the part of my brain that isn't currently occupied with tactile sensation, something that happened to Melly when she was younger. I fucking called it. Yes! I mean, no, this is weird. She was out on her roller skates when it happened. She must have stumbled and lost her balance. I think she landed awkwardly. She sprained her leg and got a few nasty bruises, but that wasn't the worst of her injuries. Somehow, when she fell, she sustained a deep wound. It was a cut that extended from the small of her back all the way down to the bottom of her spine. Melly? Is this a sudden realization? Belle looks at me, her head tilted to one side. Her hair is a little messy and her face is flushed, but her lips are curved in a triumphant smile. I fucked you, Daddy. I know that smile. I thought I did from the very moment I met her. I knew something looked familiar, painfully familiar in fact, but I didn't guess. I couldn't tell. How long haven't you seen your daughter that you couldn't tell that this cat girl is actually your fucking daughter? How could I when Belle's eyes are so wide, so big, so unmistakably green? She doesn't have green eyes. She has brown eyes like a woodland deer, brown eyes like mine. But though a few details here and there are slightly, subtly different, the rest of her face, that nose, the chin, those lips, are, all of a sudden, incredibly, horrifyingly clear. It's as if, after much fumbling, I finally adjusted the focus on a magnifying glass. I've definitely seen this face before. I've seen it more times than I could ever count. How could you forget it then? Fuck! What is it, Robin? Did you realize something? Realize isn't a strong enough word. I just had a revelation. But it's already too late, and I got an achievement for that. Living nightmare. Melly, you, oh my god, She's still sitting in lab, her underwear cast aside somewhere. Her thighs are splattered in her own blood and my sperm rapidly cooling in the cold breeze. I'm not erect anymore, but I'm still inside her, our bodies linked in the most intimate manner possible. But I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. If I had known, I would never have. Fuck. Oh fuck. Melly, you're Melly. Belle doesn't refute my words. I wish she would. By God, I wish she would. She only giggles that familiar little giggle of her and shifts slightly on my lap. It took you long enough to figure out, dummy.